So the ban list that dropped a couple weeks ago changed up the meta a little bit. Um, Two of the main cards that were hit on the list were Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, and Fairy Tale Snow. Um, just after coming back to one off the ban list before. Um, and for good reason, these two were banned. They were just too good. Um, but the downside is that Synchron players lost the ability to play Chaos Ruler, which was a really good to search for your lighter darks, an extra extension, making it easier to make your level 10s, or making your Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, which is a really good negation. But I came up with a new list that doesn't need any of these. And this happens to be my favorite version of the deck that I've been trying to make work, and I found some things that helped out with that. And that would be Majestic Synchrons. So I'm really excited for this list because I'm really liking how it feels and just the cool cards that you can incorporate into this. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the deck profile. So first off, of course, you need the main guy, Junk Synchron. It's your main combo starter. When it's normal summoned, you target a level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard to special summon it in defense position with that monster's effects negated. It's level 3, you bring back a level 2, that gets you into your Junk Speeder, which just starts the entire thing off. Next, similarly to my list for the Power of the Elements sneak preview tournament, I played 2 Stardust Synchrons. In this list, you don't really need more than 2 because we don't really make use of Stardust Trail, and being able to change our Axel Synchron's level to a level 9 or a level 1 by sending this guy from the deck to the graveyard, it just doesn't really come up. But I think it's good at 2. And then probably my second favorite Synchron monster besides Junk Synchron, it's Quick Draw Synchron. It's a level 5 monster that inherently discards a card to special summon itself. So it's not an effect activation. The only downside to this card is that it can only be used for a Synchro monster that specifically lists having a Synchron monster as material. So kind of like Junk Warrior, Drill Warrior, I think Turbo Warrior as well. But yeah, that's Quick Draw. I play 1 Satellite Synchron just to tie into the theme, I guess, archetype. I like this better just because I don't really like Floor Synchron. It's also a level 2. And when it's used as Synchro material, it can summon a level 2 or lower monster from your hand. But the combo that I go with doesn't really need that extra summon. So basically, you're just using Satellite Synchron as a level 2 tuner, which it's fine. If you prefer Floor Synchron, you can just swap this out. This is just my preference of monster, just because it just ties into the Synchron archetype. And then for the last of the Synchron tuners, you play 1 Jet Synchron. It's a level 1 tuner. If it's in the graveyard, you can discard a card as cost to special summon this guy back, but banish it when it leaves the field. You're really not going to be summoning most of these guys except by the effect of Junk Speeder. That's it for the Synchron lineup. Those over there. For the other monsters, I play 3 copies of Junk Converter. This helps you get into your main combo by discarding any tuner monster, whether it be a Synchron or a hand trap or whatever. Discard a tuner and itself to search for any Synchron monster, which is really useful. And then if it's used as Synchro material and sent to the graveyard, you can target any tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position with its effects negated, or actually it cannot activate its effects. It's level 2, helps, it helps make a level 5. Then I play 2 Doppelwarrior. I think 2 is fine. 3, and you might see this guy at times when you don't really want to. If a monster is special summoned from the graveyard, you can special summon it from the hand, and then if it's sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, you can just summon 2 Doppel tokens in attack position. Now you can't summon up to 2 tokens. You have to summon 2 tokens or you can't activate the effect. For the rest of the cards that are not hand traps, I play 1 Synchron Carrier, 1 Caligo Claw Crow. I only play Carrier because it kind of acts like an extra Caligo. I don't think I have an extra Caligo Claw Crow. Both of these two are just used as extenders for the deck. If I could find some, I'd probably play 2 to 3 Caligo. Yeah, they're just extenders. And then one of the main later on combo pieces, 1 Omni Dragon Brotar. The relevant effect is that when it's special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, discard 1 card, and if you do, add 1 monster from your deck to your hand with the same type and attribute as the target, but a different name. That's very relevant for the combo, and I will show you why later on. And then the main, I say main a lot. It's an important part of the deck. 1 Converging Wills Dragon. This came out pretty recently in Dawn of Majesty, and it was reprinted in the Megatins, actually. But Converging Wills Dragon acts as a Majestic Dragon when it's on the field or in the graveyard, so you can use it to Synchro Summon into your Majestic stuff. But this guy specifically says it cannot be used as Synchro material except for the Synchro Summon of a Majestic monster. This card's name becomes Majestic Dragon while it is on the field or in the graveyard. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it from the hand. Then, if you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon 1 level 1 Dragon monster from your deck, which would be your copy of Omni Dragon Brotar. Yeah, I think that's about it for the non-hand trap cards. I'll just go into hand traps really quick. Simply, triple Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, negate searches, special summon from deck, or send a card from deck to graveyard. And then I play 1 of Caligo Clawcrow, just because right now it's, I think, pretty relevant in the meta, and we play cards to counter these 2, which I think are pretty big hits to the deck. Like, these cards will probably put you on stop if they get activated. But that's it for the monsters. We'll go on to the spell cards. It's a pretty similar spell card lineup from my deck profile for Power of the Elements, with just some minor changes. So I'll go through it kind of quickly. Triple Synchro Overtake and triple Tuning for the Synchron stuff, and then for negation and protection and stuff, triple Forbidden Droplet, and triple Crossout Designator for the Ash Blossoms and DD Crow. Overtake gets you into your Junk Synchron, or technically you can also, I guess you'd have to, yeah, you can only use this for Junk Synchron in this deck. And then Tuning gets you, lets you add any Synchron Tuner from your deck to your hand, and then you mill the top card. And then Forbidden Droplet is just negation. And then all the one-ofs for the deck. We have Arrive in Light. It's a continuous spell that says when this card is activated, place one level 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck on top of the deck. That would be your copy of Converging Wolves Dragon. Neither player can return Stardust Dragon or Synchro monsters that list Stardust Dragon in its text from the field to the extra deck. So if you had a copy of Shooting Star or Majestic Shooting Star Dragon, yeah, the one that returns itself to the extra deck, I think during the end phase or whatever, this prevents it from being returned to the extra deck. So if you control your Majestic monster, they can't activate something like Evacuation Device to return it to the extra deck. But that's not really an important part of the card. If a Synchro monster is special summoned, except during the damage step, you can apply one of these effects, but you cannot apply that same effect of Arrive in Light again this turn. So when a Synchro monster is summoned, you can either draw a card or special summon a tuner from the hand. You're mainly just drawing a card, so you can activate your effect of Converging Wolves Dragon, and then summon your copy of Omni Dragon Brotar from the deck. Next, we play one copy of Black Garden. Black Garden is a field spell that says if a monster is normal or special summoned, except by the effect of Black Garden, have its attack. Also, you special summon one Rose token. It's a plant type, dark, level 2 attack 800, defense 800, to its controller's opponent's field. So if you normal summon Junk Synchron while you control this card, you summon a token to your opponent's field after you have Junk Synchron's attack. Just an example. Specifically in attack position. You can target one monster in your graveyard with attack equal to the total attack of all plant-type monsters on the field. Destroy this card and as many plant-type monsters on the field as possible. Then if the total attack of the destroyed monsters had on the field is equal to the target's attack, special summon the target. So if you have Black Garden in the field zone, and your opponent controls two plant type tokens, and they're both 800 attack, so the combined attack is 1,600. If you have a monster that has 1,600 attack in your graveyard, you can destroy this field spell and the two tokens to summon that target that had 1,600 attack. Just to try and make that explanation a little bit easier, because it is a little bit of an older card. Then, basic stuff, we have Reinforcement of the Army, Search for Your Warriors, Monster Reborn, bring stuff back, Foolish Burial, and Called by the Grave, just for that extra little bit of hand trap protection. And then the last card in the main deck, Majestic Mirage, also came out in Dawn of Majesty. It's a continuous trap that says if a face-up card you control leaves the field by your card effect, or to activate the effect of your card, and the card that left the field was Stardust Dragon or a Synchro monster that lists Stardust Dragon in its text, you can apply one of the following effects, but you cannot apply that same effect of Majestic Mirage once per turn. So, just to try and give a better explanation, if you have your Shooting Majestic Star Dragon on the field, and you have your Mirage set, your opponent activates something, and you activate Shooting Star's effects to negate the activation, you banish the Shooting Majestic, then you can activate your copy of Majestic Mirage to apply one of the effects. The first one is Special Summon one of those monsters, banish one monster from your opponent's field or graveyard, or any damage you take this turn is halved. So, I'll get to why this card choice is important later on. I just, I think it's a neat tech choice. It doesn't really hurt if you don't have it, but if you have it, it's just like an extra negation. But that is it for the main deck. I'm going to go ahead and get on to the extra deck. So first, we have, I guess going by level, Shooting Quasar Dragon. It's a level 12 dragon monster that requires 1 tuner synchro monster and 2 or more non-tuner synchro monsters. Shooting Quasar says, must be synchro summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's maximum number of attacks per battle phase equals the number of non-tuner monsters used as its synchro materials. So if it used a tuner and let's say 3 non-tuner monsters, this guy can attack 3 times each battle phase. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So it's just negation. Negate and destroy. When this card leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. We do not play Shooting Star Dragon, so that effect is pretty irrelevant. Next up, kind of like Shooting Quasar's twin, we have Cosmic Blazar Dragon. It's another level 12 monster that has the same material requirements. Cosmic Blazar says must be synchro summoned. Quick effect: you can banish this card until the end phase to activate one of these effects. When your opponent activates a card or effect, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. When your opponent would special summon a monster, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster's. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, negate the attack, then end the battle phase. So if you've got this guy on field, you can negate it as cost to negate and destroy a card effect, or summon a monster. If your opponent would, say, pendulum summon, they set their scales and they summon, we'll say they summon 5 monsters. They pendulum summon 5 monsters. You can use Cosmic Blazar's effect, banish it until the end phase, negate all 5 of those summons, destroy them all, and then your opponent is kind of just left with nothing. And then Cosmic Blazar comes back in the end phase, so you've got another 4,000 attack monster. Moving on, we have Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. It's a level 11 synchro dragon monster that requires Majestic Dragon and 1 or more non-tuner monsters, including a dragon synchro monster. Says must first be synchro summoned. Once per turn, you can negate the effects of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, non-targeting. So if your opponent has some effect that, or monster that just can't be targeted, this can negate its effects because that effect does not target the monster. This card gains 1 additional attack each battle phase for every monster in your graveyard that is Stardust Dragon or is a synchro monster that lists Stardust Dragon in its text. So if you were to have Stardust Dragon in your graveyard and Majestic Shooting Star Dragon, I believe that's the name, you can attack twice with this guy, and it's already 4,000 attack. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase, and if you do, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. It does not destroy it, which might come up sometimes. These two have effects that just negates, it removes them from the field until the end phase, which is really nice. Shooting Quasar just negates and destroys. Moving on, we have Baron de Fleur. I'm sure if people watching this are familiar with the competitive scene, they're all too familiar with this card. It's a Omni Negate once while it's face up on the field. During the standby phase, it can target something in your graveyard, shuffle this back into the extra deck, and then special summon that target back from the graveyard. And then it's just a free target to destroy a card during your turn. Satellite Warrior. It's a really good card. It requires one tuner monster and a non-tuner synchro monster. It's level 10. It's kind of easy to make in this deck. This card synchro summon, or if this card is synchro summoned, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of synchro monsters in your graveyard, destroy them, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack for each card destroyed. So if you have 5 synchro monsters in your graveyard and your opponent has 5 cards on the field, you can target all of those cards, destroy them, and then he would gain 5,000 attack, making him 7,500. If the synchro summon card is destroyed by any effect, yours or your opponent's, you can special summon up to 3 level 8 or lower warrior, synchron, or Stardust synchro monsters with different names from your graveyard. I don't know if that's too relevant just because this guy is just a game pusher, but if you swing and you have, or the opponent has like Mirror Force, you can pop the it gets popped. You can summon three of those synchro monsters back from the graveyard, which is pretty good. Moving on. 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. It's extra negate, and then if you swing into anything level 5 or higher, it gains the attack. So he pretty much always deals 3,000 attack. Stardust Charge Warrior, level 6, free draw card. That's pretty much all to say about it. The main combo starter, your copy of Junk Speeder. If it's synchro summoned, you can summon as many Synchron tuner monsters with different levels from your deck as possible. So if you have levels 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you have to summon at least one of every level as you possibly can. And then during the turn, it was synchro summoned. If you swing over something monster, it gets double its attack, which doesn't come up too often, but it could. TG Hyper Librarian. If you synchro summon, draw a card. Really good card. Next, we play Garden Rose Maiden, which actually lets you search for your copy of Black Rose Garden. She's a generic level 5. If this card is special summon, you can add Black Garden from your deck to your hand. I said Black Rose Garden, but it's Black Garden. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Rose Dragon or 1 Dragon Synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it. That effect comes up a lot, part of the main combo, just to set up a whole board of 5 negates. Next, just the guy, Junk Warrior. Doesn't do too much, but sometimes it helps to summon him because you can push for game. If it's synchro summoned, it gains the attack equal to the total attack of all level 2 or lower monsters on the field. And that's about it. Axel Synchron, it's level modulation. It's a tuner synchro monster, so it makes getting into your high level dudes easier. Herald of the Arclight, easy negate just to set up at the end of your combo. Um, if you make this guy at the end of your combo, pass your turn, he protects you from droplet, sorta. Just because if your opponent activates Forbidden Droplet, they can't send monsters as cost for Forbidden Droplet because Herald of the Arclight says any monster sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead, so they can't send monsters to the graveyard to negate your board of 5 Omni negates. So that gives them a chance to, or gives you the chance to actually negate the Forbidden Droplet. Last 2 cards, Martial Metal Marcher. Level 3 lets you revive a tuner monster from your graveyard. And then a monster that uses this guy as synchro material becomes a tuner while it is face up on field. And then last card, Celestial Double Star Shaman. If it's synchro summoned, you get to summon up to 4 level 2 non-tuner monsters from your hand or graveyard. Normally, you're just summoning back 1 monster, but it's also a synchro tuner, so you can set up your 2 level 5s and a level 2 to make one of these guys. So that is it for the extra deck. I'm going to see if I can't get a good test hand for you guys, just to show off what this deck can do. We're going to draw Caligo, cross out, tuning, Junk Synchron, and overtake. That's not too bad. We have our main combo and then protection from like Ash Blossom. Because if Junk Speeder gets ashed, the combo's over. So what we're going to do is we're just going to normal summon Junk Synchron, special Caligo because we control it dark, and then use those 2 to synchro summon. Get into our copy of Junk Speeder. We're going to activate the Speeder's effect. We're going to imagine that our opponent has Ash Blossom, so we can activate Crossout Designator, declare Ash Blossom, so its effect would be negated, banish it from the deck to negate Ash, and then we're free to do as we please. So we're going to summon 5 monsters here. We're going to summon Quick Draw. We're going to summon Junk Synchron, Stardust. There's 2 more. Satellite and Jet. We're going to put the graveyard a little bit more to the right, space everything out here. We're going to activate Stardust's effect to search for our copy of, where is it? Arrive in Light. We're going to add that to the hand. Shuffle the deck a little bit because we can draw. We are going to synchro summon using Jet and Junk Speeder to synchro summon into Charge Warrior. Charge Warrior effect to draw a card. It's a Forbidden Droplet. Then we're going to activate Arrive in Light to stack our copy of Converging Wills Dragon and put that guy on top of the deck. So we'll put this guy on top, and then we'll go ahead and synchro summon into our copy of Crystalline. Now that's going to allow us to activate Arrive in Light in order to draw a card. It's Converging Wills Dragon, so we can activate the effect to summon it from the hand, and then because we control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster, we can special summon from our deck a copy of a level 1 Dragon monster, which will be Omni Dragon Brotar. Now that's going to allow us to activate Brotar's effect, target our copy of Junk Synchron, discard any card. We really don't need this tuning, and that will allow us to add a copy of Doppel Warrior to hand. Now what we're going to do is we're going to Synchro Summon using our Brotar and our Stardust Synchron for level 5. Go into Hyper Librarian. And then we'll go ahead and tribute the Quick Draw Synchron for Stardust Synchron's effect in order to special summon itself. And that will let us activate Doppel Warrior to special summon it from the hand. Then we'll get to Synchro Summon using Converging Wills, Doppel Warrior, and Crystal Wing in order to make our copy of Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. That's going to allow us to do Chainlink 1 Hyper Librarian, Chainlink 2 Doppel Warrior to draw cards. So we make 2 level 1 tokens, and then we get to draw a card off of Doppel Warrior, or Hyper Librarian, it's another Stardust. And then we get to Synchro Summon using our other Stardust Synchron and a token to make our copy of Garden Rose Maiden. That's going to let us do Chainlink 1 Librarian, Chainlink 2 Rose Maiden to search for our copy of Black Garden from our deck to our hand. And then Librarian will let us draw another card. And that will be a tuning. That's alright, because what we're going to do with that tuning is we're going to discard it to special summon our copy of Jet Synchron from the graveyard. Now you can continue here. It doesn't really matter, and I'll explain it when we get to it. But we'll activate Black Garden here. You can't really see that, so I'm going to put it here. We're going to activate Black Garden, and then we're going to use these two to Synchro Summon into Double Star Shaman. It's going to do Chain 1, 2, 3. To make a token, we're going to put it right here to, make it on our opponent's side. Double Star will bring back our copy of Doppel Warrior from the graveyard, and then Librarian is going to let us draw another card, which is going to be another droplet. Here we're gonna Synchro Summon using Garden Rose, Librarian, and Double Star Shaman, all 3 of those, to make our copy of Cosmic Blazar Dragon. That's going to do Black Garden's effect to make another token. I'll actually put that one over here, and then put another one over here. They're level 2, so we'll make sure that's accurate. So they have 2 tokens. What we're going to do now is, because these 2 tokens count as, or they have 800 attack, so a total of 16. We're going to use Black Garden's effect, destroy this and these 2 tokens to target our copy of Garden Rose Maiden to bring that back. And then we're going to go ahead and Synchro Summon into Axel Synchron. Then we're going to activate Doppel Warrior's effect, make 2 tokens, level 1, 2 level 1 tokens. And what we're going to do here is we're going to activate Axel Synchron's effect. Send a Synchron monster, which is going to be our copy of Junk Synchron, from deck to graveyard as cost. to decrease its level by 3, so it becomes level 2. We're going to Synchro Summon using Axel and one of the tokens to make Metal Marcher. We'll do Metal Marcher effect, target Axel Synchron to bring that back, and then we will Synchro Summon using these two level 10s to make our copy of Baron de Fleur. Then Synchro Summon using Metal Marcher and the other level 1 token to make Herald of the Arclight. And then what we can do is banish our copy of Garden Rose Maiden from our graveyard, target our Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, bring that back, and now we have a full board of almost 5 Omni Negates. And then what's left in our hand is we have a droplet that we can set, and that's just one more negation that we can have. So hopefully that gives some insight on how we can play Synchrons post the September ban list for 2022. Yeah, I think that would be about it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.